Hey there, YouTube. It's Bobi, aka Paginator, and I am here today with a haul that I wasn't anticipating doing because I was going to be really good while I was here visiting family for the holidays, and I bought stuff. So, I have a little holiday haul, some books and a couple of non-book things, but all the non-book things are Harry Potter related. So, on my way to visit family, I realized that I had to be Santa Claus for myself. So I stopped at Target and got myself some Christmas presents. And the first item that I have here is this lovely pillow. It is all sequiny, and you can see Harry Potter's glasses and the lightning bolt. And you can probably see in the background, but when you flip the sequins, it becomes platform 9 3/4, which is really fun, and it's very calming and soothing to just sit here and flip the sequins back and forth. So, yeah. Next, I got some Harry Potter house page clips. These are magnetic bookmarks, and they're my favorite types of bookmarks to use lately. Between magnetic bookmarks and wooden bookmarks, I go back and forth, but these are very handy, and since they're small, you can get right to the paragraph that you're stopping on, and so you don't have to remember what paragraph you were at. It's just very handy. And then lastly, at Target, I got Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Target usually has their new books on sale, and they did as well, so I got this for 20% off, which is awesome. And I don't know a whole lot about this book. I picked it because it was pretty and I hadn't heard about it, so I was sure not to already have it. This is about debutante society, and the character, I think her name is Sawyer. She's an auto mechanic, and she has a grandmother that's kind of long lost and shows up and says, I'm going to give you this money if you promise to participate in the debutante season. So Sawyer, being not the girliest of girls, has to get through this, apparently. And that's going to bring in some interesting things. And I don't know if there's any romantic components, but we shall see as we read it. Alright, then I did really good for quite a few days at not buying anything, and then I went on Book Outlet. Every time I go to Book Outlet thinking, oh, I'll just look and see what's there, I buy something. I'll save the Book Outlet stuff for when they arrive at my house, and we can do a whole haul of that shipment debacle. So that brings us to today. It is New Year's Eve, and no one else is around because I'm staying with my parents for the holiday, and my mom is at work, my dad's away in California at work, and that left me home alone, and I just didn't want to sit around all day, so I decided to go into town, and my primary objective was to go to a thrift store and look for some little glass bottles because I want to do it like a DIY potion shelf. And so I went there, and when I was at the thrift store, I found a couple of treasures. So the first thing I found is a movie, and I actually lied, this is not a Harry Potter thing and it's not a book, but that's okay. I found a DVD of Black Beauty, which is a kid movie about, or based on the story of Black Beauty, that I just really loved watching back in the day, and it was $2 for the DVD, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna snatch that up. And then the other two items I found were Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. I don't have this series, and here I found two of the ones in the series for a total of $4.50. This one was $3 and this was $1.50. And so I didn't get Days of Blood and Starlight because they didn't have that one, but that's a killer deal, and it's Laini Taylor, and her writing is amazing, so no complaining about that. Gosh. So then I thought, okay, I'm all done. Well, I went to the craft store because I needed a couple of other things, and they didn't have exactly what I was looking for, but they did have this guy, Ronald Weasley. Now, I have a couple of Ron figures already. Why did I need this one? Because apparently I need every Ron figure that I can find, I guess. This is him holding Scabbers, and I'm going to think of him as Scabbers because if I think of him as Peter Pettigrew, I want to puke. They had a Peter Pettigrew pop figure there as well, and I refused to buy it because he's a dirty cheat, and yeah. So, Ron Scabbers. And so this will go on my shelf with my other Rons. I have Ron in his Quidditch robes on his broom, and I have Ron in his Christmas jumper with the R on it, and I have one other Ron. Oh, it is Ron holding Scabbers, but it's a different style. It's the Star Ace, whatever called figures that one of my students bought for me. So, I really, really want to get the pop figure that's Luna with her lion headdress, and I never see it in the stores. I should just get online and order it. It's the easiest way to do. Lastly, I had one other stop to make, and I went into the store again for a different purpose. I went into this little store because they make these hand-dipped chocolatey cookie thingies, and it's New Year's Eve, and I thought I need treats for our little party that we're having. And I came out with those treats plus 3 books. I need help. I hope I'm going to have enough money in my bank account to buy groceries when I get home in a couple of days. If not, I'll just feast on the goodness of books, I suppose, for my soul and drink a whole lot of water. Alright, so the first book I picked up at the store was Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow, and this is the sequel to the first book, which is Nevermore, and this is a middle grade series, but even if you don't like middle grade, seriously consider this series. It's Harry Potter-ish in the vibes, but it's completely independent of Harry Potter, and it's not like a knockoff of that. It's just an 11-year-old, in this book I'm assuming she's going to be 12, who's discovered she's part of the magical world and has powers, and there's really fun creatures in this series. In the last book, there's a picture of a giant cat on the front of it, and the cat is just a quirky, funny character, and I'm sure that some of these other characters that we haven't met yet are going to be equally entertaining, like this goat man who's wearing a suit. I suppose we'll find out what he's all about as we read. Then I happened to see the Casey West little section of the shelf, and I grabbed a copy of By Your Side. This one's been out for a little bit because you can see it's in paperback, but I haven't read this one, and I really enjoy Casey West's books, and my students love her, and I can trust that I don't have to read this one right away, but I can put it in my classroom library because Casey West does cute romantic stories about teenagers, but that are clean. So I don't have to worry about my students' parents getting all upset about, why did you give my child this book? So thank you, Casey West. If you're a young adult author out there, which I'm sure you don't watch this channel if you are, but if for some strange reason you happen upon this channel and see this video, please write clean reads for my students to read, please. It's so hard to find clean reads for my middle schoolers that they're interested in. Just please. All right, lastly, we have Murder, Magic, and What We Wore. Now, I will admit that I saw the girl in the Regency era dress and went, must have it, because as I was driving around town shopping today, I was listening to Sense and Sensibility, so I've got Jane Austen vibes going on in my mind. And I saw this and I grabbed it, and this is set in London in 1818, so just a little bit past, like teeny tiny, like the tail end of Jane Austen's era. And we have Annis. She's just learned that her father is dead and all his money is missing, and so of course she decides to become a spy. Makes sense, right? Dad's gone, money's gone, I'm gonna be a spy. Might as well. So that's Murder, Magic, and What We Wore by Kelly Jones. So that concludes my little holiday haul. Sorry, I just bumped that. I am so sorry. I hope I didn't make anyone dizzy. I think that's it for this video today, so I am going to say farewell. Next video that I film will be back in front of my usual bookshelf with a few more titles added to it and maybe even rearranged because, you know, I've got a few days before school starts and I might as well rearrange my bookshelves. It's more important than undecorating my house from Christmas or cleaning my house. Nah. Let's just do the bookshelves instead. So, that'll be it from me today. I hope you all have a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.